As most of you know by now, Texas and Oklahoma are leaving the Big 12 a year early and joining the SEC in 2024. I'm going to touch on the highlights of that deal and give you the reasons why I think, 3 reasons to be exact, why I think that's actually a good thing for the Big 12 Conference. So pull up a chair, sit back, relax, and let's talk about it. What is up, college sports fans, Big 12 fans, and fellow members of Mountaineer Nation? This is Couz, and welcome into another edition of Couz's Corner. So pull that chair up or grab yourself a bar stool and let me serve you up another shot of top-shelf college football content on tap at Couz's Corner today. We're talking Texas and Oklahoma's early exit from the Big 12 to the SEC. It's been reported by several media outlets. Here's an article by Brett McMurphy. It says, Texas, Oklahoma to leave Big 12 early for SEC in 2024. Instead of Texas and OU paying an exit fee, which was expected to be about $50 million each, the Big 12 allowed OU and Texas to leave early by foregoing $100 million of revenue distribution. Fox will receive $20 million of that revenue distribution to offset not getting any future Texas or Oklahoma games after 2023, sources told Action Network. So basically, what that means is Texas and Oklahoma aren't going to have to cut any checks or pay any cash money to the conference for leaving early. The conference will just withhold $100 million of their revenue distribution from their current TV deal. At least that's the way I read that. But Fox needed to be made whole here because Fox is going to be losing a whole season's worth of games from Oklahoma and Texas. In order to make up for that, they're getting a cut of that $100 million, and it's $20 million, and that's what's going to make Fox whole. It says the remaining $80 million of that revenue distribution will be divided by the 8 remaining Big 12 schools, which comes down to $10 million each. This allows the Big 12's remaining members to be made whole, and that's in quotes, despite the early exit by the Sooners and Longhorns, sources said. Also, in their first year of the SEC in 24-25, Oklahoma and Texas will not receive a full share from the SEC and actually will receive less than the $40 million they would have received if they remained the final year in the Big 12, sources said. So the Texas and OU wanted out so bad that they were willing to take a pay cut in 2024 to do it. Goes on to talk about Brett Yormark and his persistence. It says the discussions about OU and Texas departing early have been ongoing for several months, and Yormark's persistence was a big reason the agreement was reached, sources said. The agreement allows the Sooners and Longhorns to exit the Big 12 before the league's grant of rights expires July 1st of 2025. And here's a statement by Brett Yormark. As I have consistently stated, the conference would only agree to an early withdrawal if it was in our best interest for Oklahoma and Texas to depart prior to June 30th, 2025. By reaching this agreement, we are now able to accelerate our new beginning as a 12-team league and move forward in earnest with our initiatives and future planning. I appreciate the approaches of OU President Joe Haraz, which I hope I pronounced right, and UT President Jay Hartzell, to ensure an amicable conclusion to this process and look forward to the bright days ahead for the Big 12 Conference. I'm going to go ahead and tell you why I think this is positive for the Big 12, even though they're losing their 2 biggest brands from the league a year early. Number one reason, it allows everybody to move on. They make a clean break. Everybody can get on with their life. Basically, this whole situation had turned into, it felt like you live, kind of compared to like, imagine you get a divorce and you have to live with your ex, or you break up with somebody, you have to live with them for a long time, for 2 years. That's what this feels like right now. Now, they're going to have to live with them for at least a year here in 2023. And, oh, by the way, your significant other's bringing in somebody else to live with you, bringing in their new partner to live with you. That's how uncomfortable it's going to be in 23. But they at least don't have to endure it for an extra year. They can get out a year early, and everybody can move on. And like I said, both conferences and the 2 teams can move on with future planning. The SEC will now be able to set their conference schedules up. Texas and Oklahoma will now be able to set their schedules up. It's just good for everybody. The Big 12 can do the same. Now, the second reason I think it's a good thing for the Big 12 is it means that Texas and Oklahoma have less of a chance of representing the league in the college football playoff. Remember, 2024 is the year the college football playoff expands to 12 teams. There's a much better chance that Texas and Oklahoma end up representing the Big 12 in that playoff if there's 12 teams getting in. In 2023, there's only going to be 4 teams getting in, so it's going to be much harder for Texas and Oklahoma to earn that spot. Now, it's still possible that they could do it, but you don't want a team leaving the league carrying the mantle of the conference into the college football playoff, in my opinion. I think it would be a bad look for the league and would just make the breakup harder, so to speak. Now, like I said, it could still happen, but I think it's much less likely with a 14 playoff than a 12 team playoff. And the worst case scenario would have been If there was a 12-team playoff in 24, imagine Texas and Oklahoma both being in the Big 12 in 24, it being their last year in the league, and both of them getting into the college football playoff, because that could happen. 2 teams from the same league are going to be able to get in. Maybe even 3 or 4 teams from the same league could get in when you have a 12-team playoff. And the conference, that would not be a good look for the conference, in my opinion, to have the 2 teams that are leaving with that. Now, they could still leave with a conference title in 24, but getting into the college football playoff would be even more of an issue, in my opinion. For those of you who watch professional wrestling, you can compare it. Remember when CM Punk left the WWE with the championship? That's kind of what I think about in that situation. All right, now, the third and final reason that I think it's a good thing, and it was referenced there in Brett McMurphy's article, is it allows Brett Yormark to move forward with conference plans. And one of those plans, according to a tweet put out by Ross Dellinger of SI Now, which is Sports Illustrated, and it's on the screen for you now, he says this. After negotiating OU and Texas exit, the Big 12 and Commissioner Brett Yormark are expected to, and I quote, aggressively pursue further expansion, a source tells at SI Now. Expansion is the third of 3 goals that Yormark set for his first year in office. Number 1, he wanted to get a TV deal done. Check that box. Number 2, he wanted to get OU and Texas, negotiate an OU and Texas exit. He's checked that box. Now he has one more box to check, and he's probably going to do everything in his power to check this box, and that is further expansion. He wants to expand the Big 12 Conference. He's made it openly clear he wants to. He wants to get into a 4th time zone. He wants the Pacific time zone, folks. He's not kept it a secret. There's already been reports that he's talked to Gonzaga about being a basketball-only member. There have been reports and rumors that they've talked with Arizona State, Colorado, Utah. Now, there are a lot of people out there, especially in Pac-12 country, who say that has almost no chance of happening. Maybe it doesn't. And I kind of fall in line that it is probably unlikely to happen. But I think it's probably more likely to happen than some may think. But still, I think it leans more toward not happening, because I think at the end of the day, most Pac-12 schools do want to remain in the league. Now, the reason it allows Yormark it makes it easier for him to check that box of future expansion, he can now spend more of his time and energy on that topic and on that issue instead of dealing with this Oklahoma and Texas stuff. More time, more energy, and it also allows him, when he's talking to these other potential Big 12 candidates, they know what's going to be happening in the league in 2025. They know what's going to be happening in the league in 2024. He doesn't have to guess. They actually know what the future of the conference is going to look like. They're going to know what the scheduling model is going to look like and all that stuff. So it's much easier to have those types of conversations if you know what the future of the league looks like, in this case, the immediate future. And it's one more thing he can get off his plate, one less thing he has to worry about. And then lastly, and this is a rumor that I saw on Twitter that was by somebody on Twitter called MHVER3. He tweets out a lot. Anytime conference expansion becomes a conversation, he always likes to give his opinion. He seems to be well connected. I don't know who this is. They don't have their name on their Twitter account. They don't have anything in their bio. But they have been right on a lot of stuff. There are a lot of people who say not to listen to them. There are people who say to listen to them. I couldn't tell you. This could all just be conjecture. Somebody throwing things against the wall, seeing what sticks. I have no idea. So don't take this as me saying this is news, okay? Because it's not. But this person on Twitter says they're hearing that the Big 12 is considering using that $80 million that they're getting as the exit fee. They could use that to help buy other teams into the conference. Now, I don't know what that means. To me, the way I read it is, if they need to put a little money towards getting a team in the conference, they can help them do that. Maybe they help pay a team's buyout from leaving their current conference. Maybe they help add it to their media deal to help sweeten the pot. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Do you think it's good that Oklahoma and Texas are getting out of the conference early, or do you think it's bad? Do you think we should have held on to them as long as we could have? And what do you think about this deal that they've cut with these 2 schools? The Commissioner Yormark has cut with these 2 schools. And if you're a fan of one of these 2 schools, I want to hear your thoughts as well. Do you think it's good that Oklahoma and Texas are getting out of the Big 12 a year early and moving on to their future home in the SEC? Also, folks, please, if you want to support my channel here financially, there's a couple different ways you can do that. You can hit the Heart Thanks button right below, make a one-time donation to my channel. You can also check out my merch store. Get yourself a hoodie, a ball cap, a T-shirt, a tank top, a bandana, a coffee mug, all kinds of different products over there with several different designs to choose from. You can also check out the links in my description box. I've got Fanatics links over there. I've got links to PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. You can make donations that way. The Fanatics link gets you into the Fanatics site to do some shopping, and I would make a small commission on anything you buy if you use the link. Last but not least, if you want to support me absolutely 100% free, there's 4 ways you can do that. You can like this video. You can drop a comment below. You can share it out with your friends. Let them know about me here at Couz's Corner. And last but not least, hit that subscribe button, please. Help me get to 5,000 subscribers as soon as possible. With that being said, I really appreciate your support and you tuning in. Q Country Roads.